Hi guys, and welcome back to Economic Street. Today we're going to be talking about how to get onto the stock market. I've got Nick here with me.
Hi guys.
So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So now Nick, you work in the financial sector.
Indeed I do.
You work for the London Stock Exchange.
That's correct.
So, how would I go about getting onto the stock market to buy some shares?
Yeah, good question. So in this day and age, a lot more people want to be owning shares nowadays. So for example, you wanted to own shares in HSBC. The best way to do that would be to contact a broker. So by contacting a broker, you would set up an account with them, put your money into one of their funds, and then through the broker, get access to the London Stock Exchange to purchase shares in HSBC.
So I can't just ring up the stock exchange then and try and buy some shares in BT or Vodafone then?
No, you couldn't do it directly yourself. So this is where the broker comes into the play, because brokers are usually members of the London Stock Exchange, and it's only members that can place orders to buy and sell shares on the stock exchange. So what you'd have to do is set up an account with a broker who would then, on your behalf, say you wanted to buy, say, 10 shares in HSBC, they would then contact through the London Stock Exchange that buyer order and process the order for you on your behalf. So you couldn't then ring up the exchange yourself. That's not possible.
So you've mentioned brokers, Nick.
Yeah.
What's the process like of opening up an account with them?
Yeah, good question. So, as I said, you have brokers who will contact the London Stock Exchange on your behalf, but to do so, you'd have to find a broker first. So, the best way to find a broker will probably be on the London Stock Exchange website itself, where it lists all brokers that are available. So you can then find one that's best for yourself, because each broker will charge their own commissions and rates. So, for example, when you, as I said, you want to buy 10 shares in HSBC, you have to pay the fee of how much it will cost, but also the brokers will charge you a commission for that. So that's their little percentage of making money on acting on your behalf. Right. So each broker's charge their own percentage and fees. So you'd have to search around and see what will benefit you.
Okay, brilliant. So London Stock Exchange, they have a list of approved brokers they work with.
Correct.
And what sort of services do these brokers provide?
Yes, you have execution brokers and advisory brokers. So execution brokers would be brokers who won't provide you advice. So for example, if you're quite financially inept, you could then know you wouldn't need any advice, you just want to buy and sell shares. They will probably be your best bets. And then you have advisory brokers who will sit down and advise you and make aware of your risks and your risk appetite and see what sort of shares will be in your best interest. And again, they will charge different fees for this service as well. So it all varies on what your needs are and how financially aware you would be.
So my next question to you, Nick, is, I want to start out now, but I don't really know too much about investing.
Yeah.
What would be the best approach to...
That's a very good question, because as I said, you get people that one day think, I can go and I've got money, I want to make money, how can I do that? So the best, as I stated earlier, you have execution-only brokers and you have also advisory brokers. I would advise, if you're not too sure on what you're doing, go for an advisory broker, as they can then help guide you. They won't execute for you, but they will guide you on what you want to do. So for example, they will weigh up your risk and reward, so they will see how you would, what kind of profile you are, and help guide you to what shares will be more beneficial to you. Whereas if you feel that you're quite confident or financially astute, then you could go for execution broker, where basically you've kind of done your own research, but you just want someone to then execute the buying and selling the shares for you. So it varies on time. I would say it depends on what kind of stage you're at and how confident you are to what broker would be suitable for yourself.
Okay, so my next question to you then is, how does the stock market work in terms of how do the share price move?
Yeah, well, think of it as like an auction house.
Okay.
So share prices will move via demand and supply. So if you have a lot of people buying shares, say a lot of shares in, say, Facebook, for example, that will increase the share price because there's a lot of demand going on. On the flip side, if you have a lot of people selling shares in Facebook, that would have an adverse effect and actually reduce the price you'd be paying for the shares, because a lot of people are selling shares in the market. And that's also dependent on financial news and information. For example, you had when Facebook's profits increased, that sent the demand for the shares quite high, because people were seeing that because Facebook are making a profit, that they may be likely to make more profits in the future. So that will increase the demand, because basically when firms make profit, if you own that share, you will get a dividend on that share. So say if you owned 10 Facebook shares, and say Facebook were paying a dividend of say 50p per share, if you got 10, you'll times those 10 shares by 50p, and that's what your payout you would get. So financial news can also have an effect on how share prices move. Adversely, negative news can also have an effect. For example, the VW scandal, where the emission scandal had a negative effect on VW's prices, their share price actually fell. So share prices actually work via the demand and supply of what's going on.
And there's other things involved, like this news that you
Correct. So it's news going on in the day, or if anything's happening in the world. So also economy news. So there's all different variables that can affect.
Wars, recession.
Yes. All of those variables can have an effect on share price, whether negative or positive.
Just a quick summary then. The first starting point is to find a broker, and I can do this by getting onto the London Stock Exchange website and checking their list of approved brokers.
Correct.
I can then contact these guys and then do my own research, or look for a broker that provides advice and can help me along the process.
Indeed, that's correct.
And then the only thing else to be aware of is the charges that I can incur for using these brokers and their services.
Correct.
Lovely. No, thanks for that. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure many of our viewers would appreciate this quick segment on how to get into the stock market. Check out some of the links below to the London Stock Exchange website, where you can find out more about this list of approved brokers, and by all means do also get in touch with us for more information. Until next time.